Playing a huge round of applause. Mr. Charles Martinet.
It's me, Mario. Woohoo! And Mario, too. Have a rotten day. Oh, thank you very much. I'll probably just use it.
Yeah,
just
you
like,
might even not even
I
need
did. Yeah. And Luigi, too. Ha ha. Thank you, Uncle Peter. And well, Luigi, everybody cheek with me. And baby Luigi. And baby Mario. Let's go. Woohoo! So hi, everybody. How are you? Good. Good? Awesome. Thank you very much for coming today. I'll just put that down there. So welcome to New Zealand. It's a very beautiful country you have. It's really, I absolutely love it. It's been so much fun for us here. I haven't gotten to adventure through the whole world that you have here, but it's such a great place. And you people are so nice to us. Thank you very much. Thanks for making us feel so welcome. And thanks to Armageddon too, because, you know, I'm always very happy to be at a place to meet Super Mario fans, because, you know, it's like, because of you, we get to come out here and play and have a great time and meet fans of the characters that we do, and that is just absolutely the best, you know. Lots of fun, lots of joy, and so thank you all very much for coming. I'll just start talking for a while, and then if you want, do you want to ask questions later on? We can do a Q&A and that sort of thing. So probably the first thing I would say is how I became an actor, then how I became the voice of Mario, and then what's that done for me. Because I always believe that everybody should do what they love to do in life. And you know, like if you want to be a plumber or an electrician, or if you want to be a game designer, you want to be anything, you know, making that conscious decision to follow your heart and to be passionate about what you do and explore your passions, that's like really important for, you know, for me. It's like, so the basic message for me is like, have fun. Have lots of fun in life, because you know it's a very short process, and you never know how long we're here for. So you should spend as much time having fun and exploring what it is that gives you happiness, and also always, I would say, also giving back to people, because that's the great gift of humanity. We have the opportunity to be grateful and the opportunity to give back to people. So that to me is like those are key points for me. I always think, you know, you should try to make conscious decisions about where you're going, except I've never been able to do that myself. So everything I say, it's not that it has a grain of salt, it's more for me, it's like I wanted to be happy. And so I wasn't happy doing one thing, so something else happened. And then I wasn't happy but happiness was my motivation. So I got the next thing. So that's how it happened to me. Like I was in UC Berkeley studying political theory with the intention of getting a law degree, and then from my law degree going out into the world and becoming a diplomat or something like that, living in London and practicing international law. And I couldn't get the professor that I wanted to do my thesis for, and so I'm a brat. And I said, if I can't have the professor I want, I'm leaving. And I didn't know that I would actually do that, but I left the university. And a friend of mine said, well, you should come and take an acting class from me. And I said, Les, there is no way I could ever be an actor. I could never possibly stand in front of people and talk. I'm way too terrified of people for that, because I was very shy, as you can tell. So, you know, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, there's no way I'll do this. I could never stand in front of people. I'm terribly shy. And he goes, well, if you come, you know, we'll go to the cafeteria where the students are becoming professional chefs and have great food before class. And I said, okay, that I will do it for. So I became an actor for food. You know, so I went and, you know, and little did I know, because I don't know anything about acting, but the first thing we had to do was like do monologue, you know, do a monologue. And I had no idea I was going to do this, and I felt, you know, like, Les, wait a minute, you didn't say it after I actually do any acting, you just said take an acting class, you know? Well, sure enough, we're doing this thing in young actors in college, doing, it was monologues from the Spoon River Anthology, which is like, Spoon River was this little town and everybody died, so everybody's dead, you know? It's like, why did the monkey fall out of the tree? Because he was dead. So, you know, it's like, okay, so we're going to do these monologues, and like, my name was Joe, and I died in a terrible fire, you know, and I memorized this monologue, and then I was I knew I was so scared, but we went through like 25 people in that classroom, and I kept getting smaller and smaller as we got closer to my inevitable death, you know, which meant I'd have to stand up in front of people. I swear I was like that tall in my chair by the time he took a picture. Yippee! So you know, I'm like, no, Charles, you're up. Les was all, you're up. I'm like, okay. So in my brain, this is my impression of me going up to do my monologue. Oh God. You know, so I get up there, you know, and I'm like, you know, hello, my name is Joe. I died a terrible death. You know, that's me being an actor. I died a terrible death. I was in the fire. You know, and I'm sitting there, and as I'm talking, my right knee is going like this. I'm like, oh my gosh, my knee is going like this. So I put my weight on that, and, you know, and then the left knee was going like this. And I'm like, oh my, separate your legs, put your legs even, put your weight even, put your weight, and then they're both going like this. You know, and I'm thinking that you're hearing me. Oh, I died a terrible, and I don't know how, but I lived. As obviously I did. And I lived, and at the end of it, people went, you know, it's amazing because you're the only person that wasn't nervous. And I'm like, what? You know? But it's true that I looked like I wasn't nervous even though I was. So no matter what you face in life, you can take a cool face on whether you know it's cool or not and just go ahead and do it, you know? And I guess that was just lucky for me. And then I thought, you know, well, okay, I could learn how to do this. We started doing scenes and then monologues, more scenes. And I started gaining some confidence. And I auditioned for the school play, which was A Midsummer Night's Dream. And I auditioned to play Oberon, the king of the fairies, because I thought, if I'm going to do this, I want, you know, there lies Titania some time of the night, you know. And I thought, ooh, that's really good. I'm going to love doing that. That'll be so great. So I go and I audition. And, you know, in college, you watch everybody else audition. And I watched everybody else audition, and I went, ooh. You know, I thought, I've got the Oberon. I got it. I really good. I really did it well. I did it well. And the next day I sort of like, you know, the casting charts coming up. You know, it's like, la la la, let's see what I got. Nothing. I didn't get the king. I got nothing, you know. And I'm like, how could this be unless that's the way it is as an actor? You never know. You just gotta brush it off, go back into life, and do the next one. And so I did. I started taking speech classes so I could get on the speech turn and do tournaments. And we won the states and then the nationals. And then Berkeley Rep came along and auditioned. You know, this professional theater company came to our college and auditioned. And I went in against the same people that had just finished doing the play, the Oberon do. And I auditioned using that monologue of Oberon. And I got the parts and I got the apprenticeships. And then from there I went to London to school, and then I came back and I started doing theater around the, you know, San Jose and Berkeley and San Francisco and doing it around. And I got tired of the theater because it was like, you know, it was like 60-hour work weeks, and, you know, you with not enough money to actually make a living. So, you know, I thought, you know, okay, you know, I'll try something else. And I tried business and I completely, utterly failed, you know. But I wasn't happy in the theater anymore. And then I wasn't happy trying to do business. And then a friend of mine calls me up and says, hey, do you want to audition for a corporate video? And I said, sure. Well, what's a corporate video? Well, it's a video and it's corporate. This is how I learn things in life. And I said, okay. I said, what do I have to do to act in a corporate video? You have to act. This is something I could do that. Okay, thank you very much. And I went and I auditioned, and I got like the first 10, and each one paid more than I got in the theater per week. So I realized I'm a corporate video actor. And then I started just doing corporate videos and, you know, other things, every project that comes into the world. And then, you know, I was doing one commercial. And I was like the guy with the pitchfork in the American Gothic painting with his wife. You know, this is my impression of us. And you just stand there like that for 12 hours while they light you. You know, for 12 hours you're like, okay. And so they did the shoot, and we finished the day, because in those days lighting was 12-hour day. So, you know, the director goes, that was great. Do you do voiceover? And I said, absolutely. what's a voiceover? And he said, well, you read this script. And I got this, it said, Orchard Supply Hardware, the right item at the right price, right now. Like that? Yes, that was it. Here's more money. So I said, I'm a voiceover actor. Yes, I am voiceover. That's what I do. That's why I started doing voiceover. And, you know, I was doing voiceover and trade shows and all these other different things, you know, radio, commercial, television, commercial, the occasional radio, TV, and film as they came into town. And then one day I'm sitting at the beach doing what actors do very well, waiting for the phone to ring. And if they're not like golfing, they're waiting for the phone to ring somewhere. So I'm on the beach, the phone rings, and it's a friend of mine. He goes, you should go audition for this trade show. And I said, what's a trade show? It's a show for trade. I said, okay. And, you know, no, actually what I did is I said, there's no way I'm going to go audition for something that I'm not invited for. That's absolutely ridiculous. I'm a professional actor. Where do I go? And I did. I actually went to, I can't believe I crashed an audition, but I did. And I walk in the door. As I'm walking in, the cameraman and the director are walking out the door, you know, and it's like, hi, can I read for this? And he's, oh, God. All right, look, come on in, we'll set the camera up. You're an Italian plumber from Brooklyn, right? So you're in this, you're a video game character. Now, so you're gonna have these things glued to your face, these contacts, and when you move your face and talk, and you're gonna fly the character around the screen, that character's gonna move and talk at the same time. You know, you'll have a hidden camera and a hidden microphone, so you'll see people, and we have no idea if this is going to work or not. But in any case, you got to talk to people all day long if it doesn't work. So start talking, and whenever you run out of things to say, that's your audition. And I thought to myself, I don't know anything about video games whatsoever. I had played like Pong and Space Invaders and waka 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 waka. I mean, I just knew nothing, you know. But that's all right. I can make up dialogue. You know, Italian plumber from Brooklyn. Hey, what are you doing? Get out of my face already, eh? You know. And I'm like, well, maybe I should just make it nice because I don't know whether I forgot to ask if they're going to be kids or not. And I want things to be nice and friendly. So I'm sitting there thinking, well, I'll just make something up. And I had played Gremio and Taming of the Shrew in the theater. And nice old Italian guy, talk like this. And I'm like, I'll do something like that. And then all of a sudden I hear action. And I turn the camera and say, hello, I'm Mario. Okie dokie, let's make a pizza pie together. You go get some sausage. I go get some spaghetti. He puts spaghetti in the pizza, in the sausage, in the pizza. And I just started talking. And I just was like making up, you know, chasing each other with spaghetti and meatballs and swinging from the chandeliers on spaghetti noodles. And, you know, and then it sort of like occurred to me a couple minutes into it that he said, keep talking until you run out of things to say. And I thought to my little brat self, I wonder if he really means that. And I stopped, because if I just keep going, I'll find out whether he does or not. And so I just went more and more crazy, more and more this, you know, chase each other this, swinging like that, and then we're going to go like this, and then we can see if we can find the mouse. Because we get it really small, but then we turn into the hole, and we find the little mouse, and then we go, you know, and I just kept going and 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 going until I heard, stop talking. Cut. Thank you. There's no more videotape. We'll be in touch. Apparently I went for 35 minutes. And I can tell you that was only 23 years ago and I'm still going. So the limit of my little brat self has not been discovered. But, you know, he said, you know, thanks a lot, we'll be in touch, which to an actor means, you know, there's the door. Yeah. Don't let it hit you on the way out. And I thought, well, that's nice because there's still time to go to the Sunset. And I went to the Sunset, and he got on the phone, he called Nintendo, he said, I found our Mario. I got him. And I have no idea why, except I think every other actor he later told me. Actually, he later told me that the cameraman turned to him and said, do you think if we went down and had a cocktail and came back in like a half an hour, he'd still be going? And Ralph goes, let's find out. So apparently, I don't know if I was doing something right or not, but, you know, every other actor stopped. Every other actor was thinking, hey, my name's Mario, I'm a plumber from Brooklyn, and I'm having a great time here talking with you. Something like that, you mean something like that? And they would break character. And as soon as they broke character, that was it. This guy was, yes, that was it, thank you, next. So, you know, there's this certain element, and you read about this in sort of like Eastern philosophy of like, of just apologizing for nothing, just doing what you love to do, and, you know, don't ask permission, don't say, am I doing it right? And the same very thing is true in acting, because
Any actors, any future actors here, or voiceover actors, or anybody like that? Okay, anybody ever do a job interview? You know, job interviews are just exactly like auditions. You know, it's true in life. You know, I studied the Stanislavski technique and then the British theater, you know, because I studied in England. And it's like you study. You learn how to watch people and see people, and you know, somebody with little eyes might and somebody with big jaw might be like that, you know. And then you watch the Flintstones, like you know, you start watching and imitating and doing all these things, and then you know, expanding and developing who you are as a character, because everything comes from inside. And then you go to audition, and you forget everything. You just leave it all behind. And I think the same is true if you're auditioning or you want to go work for a law firm or something. You know, you don't sit there going, okay, now what exactly do they want to hear? You know, or okay, wait. He said an old guy that's young that has a funny accent. Well, you know, I wonder if it's like that or how. Because as soon as you take your eyes off yourself and become like my favorite expression is like, you become the dog chasing the stick at the beach, you know, who doesn't ask, you know, I wonder how I should dress and what I should be like and how I should, what does he want to hear as this character? If you throw that all away and go, oh, look, here's a script. Wow, yabba dabba doo, you know, you bring yourself to it completely, the way you do with everything in life. And the magic of you is what gets you the job or gets you the whatever it is. It's when you try to be something you're not, or try to give somebody something that they want. You can't get it. You know, and it's funny because a friend of mine he was in casting in Disney, and he sends me this script, you know, do Goofy, you know, I'm like, oh, yep, okay, yep. You know, and I did this audition, I thought, wow, I really nailed Goofy, you know, and I didn't get it. And I sent him a message, and I talked to him, I said, what? I thought my thing was like really good. He goes, yeah, you were by far the best sound-alike. I said, then why maybe didn't I? I don't know. I don't know why. You know, and it's like, to me, it's like, oh, because I was trying to be the perfect sound-alike instead of being Goofy. So I managed to emulate it, but I wasn't able to be it. And that's the thing for an actor, for a voiceover talent, is you become that which you are portraying, you know. And so too, I would imagine if you're auditioning or wanting to be a CPA, you know, if you go, wait, I'm gonna sharpen all my pencils and get all myself ready, you're not gonna get that CPA job. But if you're there because I love doing CPA work, I love accounting, I just love numbers, then you have that chance. Then you're the dog chasing the ball on the beach, and you're not the dog saying, okay, what does it look like? How am I supposed to run after that ball? I hope, should I wag my tail or should I, okay, wait, how am I gonna, you know, as soon as you take your soulfulness out of it, your whole person out of it, you stop being the person that gets that job. Why am I talking about this? I have no idea, but that's just the way I sort of went with it. You know, because my wish for everybody is that you do in life what you love to do. That you find out what it is. You do your passions, your joys, your happiness, and you express, because this is the privilege for me, is I get to express the joy in my life, the love that I have in life, in the actual work that I do. And then come into a convention like Armageddon in 2014, here in Hamilton, New Zealand, on the other side of the world from where I live, I get to see and hear people say, oh, you know, you're making my childhood really fun, or you made my childhood really fun, thank you for that. And I can only say that I'm so grateful to do what I love to do in life and to know that it has some sort of impact. So that's my wish for everybody, is that you do what you love to do in life and that you get to find out live in real time that you really matter, that you really have an impact on everything in your life. And it's much, 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 much bigger than you think. I work in a little studio and I work alone, you know, I mean, the producer and director there, and we're sending sound files to Japan. But, you know, I fly up, we eat sushi lunch, you know, and my favorite food, sushi, and then we go in the recording room, and there are no other actors, nobody else there, and I'm just playing in the sandbox with my little toys, you know? And you know, so I don't see anything. But then when I go and see the game for the first time, which is what I love about Nintendo games, it's like, I see like Galaxy for the first time, I'm like, goosebumps everywhere. You know, I see if the Mario Kart game, I'm like, whee! And I'm like, I just get so excited. And, you know, Dancing Turtles, it's like, I'm laughing. And every time I play that game, I laugh. So I get to see, oh, that's fun. But then when I see people like in a place here that say, oh, I really like that game, that just makes me so happy, you know. It sort of like completes the process of knowing what this, what I do, you know, brings people a couple of smiles. So that's what I wish for everybody, you know. Do what you love in life. Find out what you love in life. Spend your life having a great time, because life is too short. I'm tall, but life is fairly short. And you just don't know when the last reel in the film is going to go, and that'll be it. So have lots of fun. So I want to answer any question that you have for me. Anybody got a question? Yes.
It's kind of a two-part one. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Have you ever met Shigeru Miyamoto?
Two-part question. Okay, the first part is, have I ever met Shigeru Miyamoto?
And do you speak Japanese or Italian?
And do I speak Japanese or Italian? So have I met Mr. Miyamoto-san, and do I speak Japanese or Italian? You know, I was doing my real-time animation stuff as Mario, and you know, and I'm like, you know, hello, how are you? Because we have the camera hidden, I say, oh, hello, look at that, you got the white shirt on. How are you today? You go, oh, I'm very well. How are you? Oh, that's nice. My name's Mario. What's your name? You know, and you're talking back and forth, and then you know, someone would go by with an entourage, and I'd say, he said, that's Mr. Miyamoto. I go, and I just looked out, and I can see because I got my hidden camera. I go, Papa! You know, and so he'd take pictures with the character, you know, because in those days, we were just a little floating head. And then one day I'm like at the CES, Consumer Electronics Show. And mind you, the job that I was doing was supposed to be a one-off. It was like, we're going to do this live animation thing one time. But I was insistent for myself of making it so much fun that they would not possibly say, this is only one. And now it's 23 years later. So I got very fortunate with that. But I'm standing there in the lobby, and I look over, and I see him, I'm like, that looks just like the guy on the TV that I saw today, you know, and I said, I walk over, and I said, hello. He goes, oh, hello, how are you? I said, oh, fine, how are you? He doesn't speak English, and I don't speak Japanese. That's the first part of this. But we had the most wonderful conversation, you know. I said, thank you so much for, you know, letting me play this. I have so much fun, you know. And he goes, oh, very happy, very happy, very happy, you know. And I'm like, oh, how nice. Here's a guy that has created joy and fun for hundreds of millions of people, and revitalized the gaming industry, recreated side-scrolling, and not yet at that point, but three-dimensional gaming, you know, get off the couch gaming, you know, all this stuff. And he's the most kind, sweet, loving, humble person you've ever cared to meet in your life. And it's like, the guy's a total hero to me. He's just a complete hero. Gracious, kind, loving, you know, it's just really, really amazing. You know, when I got the phone call in 1996, Mr. Miyamoto would like you to play Mario in a game, you know, which was Mario 64. I was, woohoo! You know, I was so happy, you know, oh! And you know, I went up there, and it was like the most miraculous session, because for 5 years I got to practice before I got there. You know, and so that, you know, out of that we have a script that we record, and then we improvise, and we're like, okay, if you put the controller down, you want to encourage the player to play, but what are we going to do? You know, and spaghetti, ravioli, mamma mia, you know, just everything continues to be that character. And that's what I love about Nintendo games and Mario games, is that if you played the game 34 years ago, or you play it today, you recognize the character and the motivation and the joy and the love that he has, and the playfulness, you know. And that's mastery of Mr. Miyamoto, but also the whole creative team at Nintendo, because Nintendo has a culture of gaming that it's all about making fun and having fun. You know, when they made Galaxy 2, it was because Galaxy 1 was out, and all the designers had so much fun, they were still making little worlds and universes and flight things and gravity things, and Mr. Miyamoto said, well, if we're having this much fun, let's make a second one. And so it is, and to me that's like possibly the greatest game I've ever played in my life, you know. So it is the love and joy, which brings me back to what I'm talking about, doing what you love to do with your passion and joy, you know. If your passion and joy is making money, great. But you know, it's like I can't get there in my mind and say, oh, I do this because I want money. Some people can, and that's great. And if that's what it is that your joy is, do it. But otherwise, do what you love to do. And the money and success and happiness and joy and fun all just naturally follow along. So, io parlo un po' italiano, ma non molto. I go to Italy once in a while, and I go to places where I can't speak English. Because when I was a kid, I lived in Spain and France and England, and you know, in those days, which is many years ago, nobody spoke English. And now everybody speaks English. I mean, yeah, if you try to learn German, you go to Germany and say, Entschuldigen Sie bitte. Oh yes, how can I help you? You know, you say, wo ist die Station for train? Where's the train station? Oh, I'm glad you asked. I don't speak good English, but if you go 4 towns down there, and they speak better English than I do, you know? And it's even in Spain, you know, you speak in Castellano, and they'll answer you in English, you know? So, you know, you've got to find places where, you know, to learn a language, I think you got to go into the culture. But I speak Spanish, French, little Italian. I can't speak Portuguese at all. I just absolutely, you know, it's incredible. You know, and the Brazilians all go, but it's easier than Spanish with marbles in your mouth. You know, it's like really hard for me. So, but I love languages. I've always loved languages. Who has a question for me? Go ahead, ask me anything. Yes, sir.
What would you recommend? What advice would you give to people who want to get into the acting?
What do I recommend as advice for people who want to get into acting? Thank you for asking that. You know, to me, acting, no matter whether it's a video game or a cartoon or a film or a television, it's all exactly the same thing. The question is size and degree. Because, you know, in a film, if I go, oh my God, that's shocking, I can do that by going, nothing. Just thinking that's shocking. But in a cartoon, obviously, it's got to be, you know, it's got to be big. So, you know, I say study acting. You know, if you can find Stanislavski, that's great. You know, do acting, do theater, do cartoons, things to emulate. Watch people, you know, watch people's physicality and watch the way they, you know, somebody with certain characteristics might have a certain voice. Emulate the cartoons. Keep doing all that stuff so that you really study humanity so that when you get to an audition, you can let that go, you know, because your worst enemy, a great friend is the one that can watch you as you're learning. That same friend becomes an enemy when it looks at you with criticism, you know, and goes, oh, you're not doing it faster, you're too slow. Wait, too slow, you're fast, you know. You got to learn how to get rid of that. So, and confidence comes from education. You know, public speaking is one of the things that terrifies people, like death and taxes, you know, the worst nightmares of our world, you know. and yet, what I tell speakers is be honest, and, you know, if you walk up there and you go, I am so nervous right now, I think I might die. The audience will laugh, and but the very thing that you're the most afraid of, that they won't like you, is you find out immediately is the exact opposite, that everybody, when they come into a room to see you speak, they want to love you, they want you to be good, they want you to be fun or funny or whatever it is, and you'll find immediately that the energy of the room shifts and changes. Study acting, yeah, study it. And communications, yeah, absolutely. Yes. Hi. Sorry about your wounds. She got stabbed.
Good thing you like tested-ish. What's the biggest challenge you've had to overcome, and how did you do it?
What's the biggest challenge I've ever had to overcome, and how did I do it? You know, I've led a pretty sheltered life. Overcoming shyness was probably the biggest thing, because, I mean, even when I went on the stage for the first time in Arms and the Man for Berkeley Rep, you know, I go into this massively over-made-up giant hat, and I'm already 6'3", you know, pardon me, ma'am, but there is a Serb on your balcony, you know, and I come in there and I do it, and I know I'm shaking like this, and then, you know, people came up to me and said, you've got whatever it is, you've got, you know. So becoming an actor, in a way, was that, because it's the exact opposite of anything I thought I could possibly do. And I did it just by, I don't know, by being happy and wanting to be happy and wanting to try something that was harder than I thought I could ever do, you know. And, you know, I think I don't know how life really works on that, because, you know, a lot of actors like, that guy has no talent, la da da da, or that guy has no, but it's like it doesn't take talent. It takes love and joy and happiness and fun. You know, it really, one of the biggest challenges, I think, for every artist is to, and everybody, is to erase the negative beliefs that you carry around, because there's so many of them. Like, you know, the notion, you say artist, starving artist, you know, is the first thing. And you need to get rid of that belief, because if you're carrying around the idea that either you do what you love or you make money, you know, then you're telling your subconscious exactly how to drive your car. You know, it's like, make sure I have fun but no money, or make sure I have money but no fun. You know, so you know, you have to look at, reflect on what is it that I, you know, believe that could hold me back, and let go of those negative beliefs. You know, I think, you know, in a sense, you know, for me personally, you know, it's a spiritual journey that we're on. You know, in a physical body. It's not a physical body on the spiritual journey. But that's my personal belief, you know, that I believe we create our realities together and simultaneously and individually, and then we go about our learning what lessons we come here to learn, we want to learn. But life is a magical, spiritual sort of journey. So, yeah.
What was your reaction when they told you Mario was going to transform into a cat?
You know, I walked into E3 and I'm like, oh look, you know, they did a great E3 last year, because, you know, there was a warp pipe, you know, that you could like take pictures in, and there was like, you know, there was an Animal Crossing thing, there was the Pikmin thing, you could jump into the log with a Pikmin, you know, and it was like so cool. And I look over there and I'm like, you know, and there's kitty cats, you know, and they're the producers that are doing the kitty cats, and then and I walk up there, we have this mutual love and admiration society, you know, they're like, oh my goodness, it's you, oh my goodness, it's you, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's you, you know, it's so fun, you know, and none of us speak each other's language, but you know, we're so happy to see each other, you know, and they had the little cat ears, and they had the little things like this, and I thought, you know, oh, because I played around the game, and I thought that it was going to be like, the cats would be like, meow, meow, you know, and we get to the session, and it's like, okay, let's try that, meow, meow, and meow, 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 okay, now let's try this, you know, and all of a sudden it's like, ooh, that's the one, you know, that everything was like really big, and so I was like, wow, that's fun, you know, that was great. My reaction was, oh boy, I get to do another one. Whoopee! You know, because it's been an honor for me to enjoy every time I go into a session. I don't know who's going to be there. I go into a session one day and there's Waluigi. It's like, you know, it's like, put a voice to this guy, you know. And then one day I was doing a real-time animation thing, and I see this character Wario, you know, it's like, you know, and I'm like, I say, go ahead and put a voice to that. You know, it's like, what a gift. It's like, here's a sandbox. Look, we brought you a new toy. You know, it's like, for me, it's like, whoopee. You know, so every time I see a new power, like, I love the Tanuki suit, you know, and the Raccoon Mario, and that little one, the propeller hat, where you walk, and that's my favorite thing, is you get that power up, and you can do so much with it, and the character just keeps, like, walking like that. I think it's so cute. I love that. I'm the luckiest guy in the world, because the legacy that I have is that I'm doing this, something that I love to do, and I think it's a really sweet, wonderful game that I hope lasts forever. Yes.
What sort of things do you do outside your role as Mario? Like, what do you enjoy doing as...
What sort of things do I do outside of my role of Mario? You mean in my personal life?
Yeah,
in my personal life, well, you know, another one is top of her class in law school in New York, and the other one is in college and moving up to Oregon to go to college. So that's some of the great joys of my life, along with our dogs and things. I like cycling, I like hiking, I like beaches, I like sunsets, I love interactions, I'm a big lover of food, and you know, so I go right to the concierge whenever I try. I love travel. To me, when I'm not working, I travel. When I'm not traveling, I'm traveling, working. I love different language, culture, light, architecture, art, artistry, you know, dialect. I love that. So I want to live in Europe again, because you're an hour flight away from completely different history and language and everything. That's such a passion for me, you know, and I haven't explored Eastern Europe at all. You know, because when I was a kid, that was the Iron Curtain that was up, the mythological Iron Curtain that justified the industrial military complex and billions of dollars of spending and spies and everything. So that's still a world that I want to open up and look into. And I love interaction. When I arrive in a city and I go, where's the best food in this city? You know, and the concierge was like, well, oh, let me find you the place. And I have just been the luckiest guy in the world. You know, Bluff oysters. Amazing! They're just incredible. So now every meal. And green lip mussels. We get America, we get green lip mussels, but they're frozen in the half shell, already cooked, shipped across it. You know, and to have them fresh, and then to ask the chef to do it his way, and I want one pot my way, because I really love cream and anise and garlic, and you know, but I want to say, and then he brings out last night this lemongrass oh, fantastic! I love food. I love food, and it shows. I become more and more like Mario. You know, he's kind of trimming up over the years, and I'm like, whoa. But luckily, I can never grow a mustache because for some reason, I'm the only one in my family that has a mustache on this side, but not really on that side. And then if I want to grow a beard, I have like nothing between here and here. So I look completely ridiculous. So I have to like buy the one and, you know, stick it on. Yeah.
What did you want to be like when you were a kid?
What did I want to be when I wanted to be Batman when I was a kid. I really thought I could be Batman because I wanted to be able to throw that little bat hook and swing on things. I loved Batman. I loved Boy Wonder. I also, you know, back in those days, you know, we had all kinds of... I didn't know I wanted to be a comedian, except I'll tell you, I always used to be able to get my mother to laugh. You know, and that's probably really why I'm an actor. You know, I thought for sure I'd be a superhero. I also, you know, I was born just after sort of like World War II. So we had all kinds of like army shows on TV, like Desert Rats and, you know, Rat Patrol and, you know, Combat and all these things, you know, and so, you know, for me, I was a boy, an American boy, I got like Tommy guns and things like that for, you know, we carved guns out of things. Don't ask me. I think it's insane. But I remember I got my little Tommy gun and you push the button and it went, I made noise and I'm like, yay, I got the coolest toy in the world, yay! And I went outside with it and I trip and fall and I break it. So that was my military career in a nutshell right there. But, you know, I thought being Batman would be really cool. You know, I also thought maybe I could be the Joker too, and I think that's the aspect about all of us. Everybody has all good in them and all evil in them. You know, you always wonder, like, how could people do something that's terrible? Well, everybody can do terrible things, and everything is forgivable, and so you change, you know? And it's so remarkable. Mother Teresa was asked, why are you Mother Teresa? You know, and she said, because I looked at myself and I saw my capacity to be Adolf Hitler, or I saw my capacity to be the opposite. And I chose to be the opposite. And it really is true. Life is just like a video game. You know, you choose the character you're going to play and be. And then you choose your direction, your choices, your decisions, your belief patterns, your directions where you go in life. And it's just like that. And you collect all these wonderful things called memories that look like gold keys and gold coins. And then you reach the end and you hope that you've lived life well and you rescue the princess or whatever it was that you want to do in your destiny. It's completely your choice. And as I get older, and I'm getting old, I'm 58 and a half years old, it's like, that is really old, you know, in cat years. Dog years. That's old. But you know, I still think, you know, you look out of your eyes, and my eyes are still like 20 years old somewhere. You know, but then I look in the mirror and I go, ah! And I know that I'm not, you know? So, but that happens to you. And what you find is an amazing thing is, time is really slow when you're young. And as, you know, then you reach 20 and it's still slow, but it seems a little bit, it's imperceptibly faster until you reach about 40. And then you, all of a sudden, the handle starts cranking up. And you know, and I tell this to my mother, she goes, wait till you're 80. You know, but it's really true. It's like time goes faster, 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 faster. So you've really got to, at my age, do things that stop the clock. and you should do it all your life. It's like do things that amaze you, that are your biggest challenge, that are your, what terrifies me? I'm going to do that. And I don't mean jump out of a plane, but I mean, gosh, walking up to somebody and say, hi. That could be the biggest challenge of your life. It's somebody, but that's the key that could unlock your entire future with that person. As a friend, as a lover, you just don't know. So, taking the chances that are emotionally risky are the things that will get you, that next golden key, I think. Batman. Yeah.
Do you play all the Mario games?
Do I play all the Mario games? That's an excellent question. Yes, I do. Not very well, but I do. I'm really, really, really not very good. And I'm the luckiest guy, though, because my niece has a boyfriend who is a rabid Mario game player, and she's a rabid Mario game player, and so I get to see what happens in the game far beyond what I will ever achieve. I'll go like, level, I made it out through level 1. Wait a minute, she's not in this castle? Where is she? It's like, then I don't get it. It's like, I get, not very well. But I love them all. I mean, I have so much fun. I don't play many other games. I found, do you remember Resident Evil? Did anybody play Resident Evil?
Yes.
Awesome. So I play that game, I have nightmares. I don't know what it is, but when I was raising children, I saw this movie, Born on the 4th of July, and I saw, these, young people get injured. And it's like, I did not sleep for 6 months. So I'm a little bit tender that way. So, but I always wanted to go, Resident Evil, woohoo! Introduction of it, But yeah, I love Mario games. I think Mario games are so great. And I love Luigi. I love that Luigi had his year,
Luigi.
Yeah, don't you love Luigi? I'm the second born son. So, I am much more like Luigi than I am like Mario in my real life sometimes. So, it's good to have examples. Yeah, go ahead, ask me anything. Yeah.
Did your
Nice
kids...
sword.
awesome. Yes. Link from Legend of Zelda.
I know, it's a Zelda sword. I forgot to mention I do love Link too.
He's my
But
favorite
the
character.
spiders
He's
terrifies
Mario's.
me. Really? Oh my!
Yes.
You're not scared. I get scared when the spiders. I'm like, ah! Here, play.
So, did your kids play the Mario games and were really amazed when, you ended up being Mario's voice? Or did they not play them?
No, because they were little, and I started doing it. They were playing the games, and it's like I'm the sort of like I'm the cushiony uncle. You say, do that voice, and because they've heard it a million times their whole life. That's the status quo. Is I'm this, and I go. Let's go! Woohoo! Arky darky! And their friends are like, oh! Which is like, it's a great thing, because they get to sit there and watch. I'm like, But it is a very nice little attribute of it. Yeah. I think secretly they're proud of me. And they are. They're the most wonderful people, raising a child, being a part of that process is, we'll talk about the greatest thing in life, to be able to give of yourself to some person that's coming up in the world. It's the greatest. It's really great. Yeah!
Out of all of the voices from the Mario franchise, which one do you enjoy acting the most?
All the voices of the Mario franchise, which do I enjoy the most? Because acting is being, to me, playing Mario's voice is so much fun. Because his attitudes and beliefs, his thoughts, his feelings, his life is, full of joy. He faces challenges with a let's go, and as opposed to So I love the characters so much, and that's always the most fun thing I do. And I wake up in the morning, I'm like, woohoo, here we go, I hear the music, and then when I spill the coffee too much, I'm like, why did this happen to me, And I recognize that, it is true that every character is in all of us.
Yeah.
Because all characters that are valid characters of every cartoon, of everything, every movie, they're true because they're true. They're good because they're true. They're sort of like everybody has the self-pity, everybody has the anger, everybody has the joy, the timidity, the fear, So the more real that you make those, even when they're like, wah, big, and just let me say, wah! You know, when they're that big, you know, it's fun, joy, play with, but you can relate to somehow that thing. And so that's another piece of acting is seek truth, seek truth, seek truth. What is, you know, what do I want in life? You know, and that's an interesting thing. It's like metaphysics. It's like, what's my belief, you know, intention and desire here? What do I really want, and what am I getting? Well, what I really am getting is exactly what I want. But every character in every play and every movie has a through line, what they want, you know. But they also, everyone has a reason, a blockage of why they're not able to get it, you know. And your thing is not to play why they're not getting it, but the truth of what they want, and allow like, for example, if you're a chicken walking along the store, there you definitely have an intention. Hello, chicken. I said that because a chicken just walked right. You can't not say hello to a chicken, right? Hello, chicken. Rooster. Hello, Mr. Rooster. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Have they ever asked you to come up with a voice for Bowser?
Have they ever asked me to come up with a voice for Bowser?
And
Thank
what would
goodness,
it be?
no. There's a great professional actor up in Seattle that does it, and I sometimes, you know, I act in a sort of void, but when I'm leaving, he's coming, or he's leaving and I'm coming, you know, and I see what he has to go through with this story. Now, for me, as an actor, what I do, every single take that I do, I drink water. I drink room temperature or warm water to keep lubricated, because it's just you know, it's these little tissues that fold together, and you know, the more lubricated they are, the longer they last. But when you're doing like, you know, Wario's where I say, "Have a rotten day," even though you can try to do it a thing and push it out the top of the head, you're still contracting the throat. So you have to be very cautious. This guy for 4 hours is going, "Brr, brr, brr," you know, I'm like, so. I do Mario's voice for 4 hours one day, then Luigi's voice for 4 hours, then Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, and then I do Waluigi, and then I do Wario the very last, because when I leave, it's often like, okay, I'll see you guys later. You know, because it's definitely a workout. And the thing is, too, what I love about doing cartoon acting, and what I love about doing, what I love to do is that it takes 150% conviction. And that's the way children live their life, you know? It's like you can't say, here's a ball, go play with the ball. And they go, oh, yeah, it's interesting. Hey, very nice. No, they're like, wah, boy, give me a wah! You know, so that's cartoon acting. That's why I love cartoon acting, because it gets, you know, back in touch with the inner child and the sense of total joy and play. Who else has a question for me? Go ahead, yeah.
How much damage have you done to the sound booth?
How much damage have I done to the sound booth? Well, you know, it's interesting. I recorded this place called Bad Animals Recording Studio, where the Grateful Dead used to record, and Bill Nye, the science guy, and all these great artists are there. You know, there's a big T-shirt that's all signed and everything. And it's amazing because, you know, the drum booth is like sealed in, because drummers, you know, it bleeds into other microphones. It's really great. It's fun to be a part of like this little tradition of things. But I have, we use a Sennheiser 416 microphone, which is a great microphone that they use in film, so that I can do different, like, you know, you try to learn the technique of when you're screaming, you pull back from the microphone, you know, like, ah, you know, and then it'll say the same volume. So not too much damage. But I have two Sennheiser 416s, and I can't believe the punishment those things can take. Amazing. Great microphones. Go ahead, ask me, Nick. Yes.
Last year we met Usually Smith, Lisa Simpson's voice actor, and one thing she said was basically she felt she'd become so typecasted as actually Lisa Simpson, she couldn't really do anything else. Have you ever felt, because of how intense Mario is, that it bothered you?
Do I feel that I'm typecast as Mario? You know, I have this to say about that. Maybe. I don't know, you know, but I mean, what an honor and a joy to be identified with one particular thing. And what this, you know, being, you know, Lisa Simpson, what being, you know, Charles Martinet and Mario allows me to do is travel the world, meet absolutely amazing, wonderful people, sign autographs, eat wonderful food, you know, fly in a plane and wake up in my bed and then go to sleep in another part of the world. It's like this great gift. There's, you know, it's a hard one because, you know, I'm not a Hollywood person. I live the life that I want to lead, and I've been very fortunate that has seduced wonderful gifts. Is that a sacrifice? See, I don't know. You know, it's like you take a first-class flight to the Cook Islands, You know, and you say, are you sorry that, you know, your being in the Cook Islands stops you from being in New York? You know, it's like, well, it's a pretty good journey. No complaints from me. But I can understand how somebody that's in Hollywood working all the time is like, no, I want to do this and this and this, and then, you know, you're going, you're stretching. Oh no, that's Lisa Simpson. That can feel a little bit ominous for some, you know, people, and I certainly empathize with that. But I don't feel that. I think, to me, it's like it's a great big gift, and I, you know, it's, every morning is Christmas morning for me. So, you know, yeah.
So, firstly, you said that your daughter is studying Masters in Oceanography. I find it very cool because I'm doing the same.
Oh, are you? Congratulations. She's not really my daughter. She's my borrowed daughter. She's my niece, one of my nieces to pieces. But they're friends that I saw them come into the world.
And the actual question, sorry, sort of following on from what my friend said. I was wondering, so you did voice acting before you ended up with the job with Mario. I was
yeah.
Any cool stories from that? Like,
well, you know, I actually did some video games, but back in those days, the memory was so short. You know, it'd be like, okay, this is a soldier game, and you have to die 500 times. Now you get shot in the head. Oh, that was too long. That was now you get shot like you know. Oh, that was too long. Make it shorter because there was no memory. So that was really fun. And I also used to do a lot of voices. You know, you go into a tourist shop and you see a little bear. And you squeeze the bear and he goes, ooh, I love chocolate. You know, I did those sort of things, you know, and I'm the guy in the trash can. Hey, get me out of the trash can, you know. And it's like, I forget that I do things, you know, and then all of a sudden I'm walking by in a tourist shop with friends and yeah, there's a lot of junk in here that you can, if you want a piece of garbage, hey, get me out of the garbage can. I'm like me. You know, so yeah, you know, it's and I forget things too. When I did Mario Sunshine, I forgot, you know, because I forget things until I see them and hear them, and then I can tell you what part of the day, what take it was, A, B, or C. You know, I don't know what that is, but I, you know, welcome to the Isle Delfino. You know, I'm like, oh, that was me. I forgot that. Little native guys, I'm like, oh, that was me. Oh, that wasn't me. Oh, that was me. You know, I forget those things. So, you know, it's for me, every job I ever do, I'm just ecstatic to be doing. I so look forward to come here. I so look forward to, you know, somebody calls up and says, we want you to be a mushroom dropping in the wind. Oh, thank you. I can't wait. You know, wahoo, you know. So, you know, it's just like, it's all a joy. It's all a gift. And that's what I wish for everybody is, you know, and when I say do what you love, I mean just passionately love what you do, and may it give back to you the way my doing Mario gives back to me so much joy and happiness. And thank you all very much. I feel so welcome in your country, and it's such a joy to be here at Armageddon. So thank you very much. I know that young man Harrison says, it's time to go. So I'm going to go downstairs, and I'm going to sign autographs now. So if you guys want autographs, we have like Mario things, and I'd love to have you come down, and I'll be right there, okay? Thank you all very much. Thank you very much for playing my game. Woohoo! See you downstairs if you come.